What is up, everyone? We're back with another update into the Kaylee gang case, everyone. Jump in the comments, share your thoughts. Now, a major update that I wanted to share right away, right off the rip, is that hearing that is going to find out if she's going to be certified as an adult. Maurnice Declue, the girl who's been charged and been in custody for the assault on Kaylee, that day that decides her fate, will she be charged as an adult or will they keep it in the juvenile courts, is coming in May. I don't have a specific day, but my take on this has been obviously that this is a horrible, tragic thing that happened. But I feel like, with the political spin that's being put on this and news outlets pushing this just back and forth, warring from different sides on a political level, in the way certain information has been reported, it's like, I don't know that we'll ever get the full truth about the case until it all plays out in the courts. And I've just been hoping that the authorities are doing a good, thorough job trying to get to the bottom, to the facts. Now, Kaylee had woke up a little while back and, originally the reports were indicating that she was awake, she was talking, but she couldn't really get around at all without any assistance, and that she's in therapy and everything like that, but that there was some brain damage, more or less, because, everyone who's seen that video saw how severe it all was. In my personal feeling about if the girl needed to be charged as an adult, personally, I really couldn't call it. I'm like, I don't know. Is charging this girl as an adult, is that the right thing to do? Should she be held liable on that level? I just personally, I can't really call it either way. It's a terrible thing that happened. And like I said, it's turned into this like war going back both sides on a political level between news outlets, but also with the parents. The parent of Kaylee, who I still want to know, is that her in the video? Who is that adult? I still have not seen anything about that. Again, I hope the authorities are really putting in work. The fact that there is an adult, what seems to be an adult, what I say for certain to me is an adult, right in that video at a fight amongst youths is like very alarming. And that person, there's no reason they should have been there in the first place. If that is indeed Kaylee's mom and she brought her daughter to scrap, you need to be arrested for that, for certain. But it's what I mean with this whole situation. It's like, why hasn't that been touched on? How have they not gotten to the bottom of that? Or have the authorities got to the bottom of it and they're just keeping everything, quiet, not getting into this whole media mess right now, and it will all be addressed at court? I don't know, but I don't know. It just don't add up to me. But her mother has, raised a bunch of money via GoFundMe and everything like that. The other mother of the Maurnice Declue girl who is in custody has repeatedly, said, my daughter is an upstanding student involved in extracurricular activities and was being bullied by Kaylee for weeks. And, as I pointed out in a previous video, we saw the videos of Kaylee Gain online attacking people verbally, talking a bunch of ish, being all in the mix, all in the drama, wanting to smoke. But as I pointed out over and over again, when it comes to the actual fight, my take is just the head bashing is where it crossed the line. There's been so many different points to all this about self-defense, and if it was indeed deemed self-defense, because Kaylee did throw the first blow and everything. What are the self-defense laws in Missouri? I don't know. Things go different state to state. And a lot of times the authorities may look at it that, individuals, even if they're being antagonized, don't have to show up and agree to fight, that they could have just said, hey, I'm not going to go. I don't know. There's so many questions here, but my personal feeling about the actual physicality was, if it would have just been a fight and it went down like that, that would have been one thing. But the head bashing is where like the line was crossed and it went too far. You know what I'm saying? Think of it in terms of a totally different situation, not thinking about these two youths, right? If one individual is always harassing and bothering another person, and then the two go meet up and fight, in the eyes of the law, I believe they would look at that as, hey, you agreed to engage in violence. I think, I don't know. As always, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I got all the answers. I'm just laying it all out, going over the updates, and want to hear from all the people out there. It's always important to break down everything we see going on in the news now more than ever, as the news is just totally infiltrated politically and just has different agendas behind it, to the point that they will misrepresent the truth when reporting on things. That's why I personally like to follow independent journalists who seem like, hey, I'm just trying to put the truth out there. But I always thought personally that self-defense applied more to if someone just kind of like pulls up on someone and attacks them or assaults them or whatever, then that applies. And even in that situation, I don't know that the head smashing would have been deemed still under the guidelines of self-defense. I don't know. Again, everyone please comment. Let's talk about it. Curious to hear everyone's take. But that certification hearing is in May. Again, I don't have the date. Will this girl be certified as an adult? I don't know. As to her condition, there's reports saying that she talks in a loop and does not remember the fight at all. And some days are better than others, but it sounded like she has some serious problems remembering, and even on like a short-term and long-term level. And personally, I think, I want to know what the courts report that they get as to the condition of Kaylee, if we'll see when it goes to court, matches exactly what we're getting reported of here in the media, But her fate is going to all lay in the hands of that court hearing. I don't know if it's a one-time thing, it's or a process where they'll have more dates. I really don't know the certification process. But one thing I want to address here is, and you see media running wild with this. Again, if you go online and look, it's just all black versus white. One political side versus the other political side, just totally trying to demonize the other side. That's all that's going on as far as the reports. But there's this tweet that's out there that's saying like, hey, this girl's mother has said that her child had never been in trouble before, was a good student, was involved in band and sports and stuff like that. She just got caught up with this girl, fucking with her all the time, and she felt she had to stand her own and not be bullied. And then the other side is saying, well, what about this tweet where after the fight, this girl, it's in this girl's name, but it doesn't mean that it's her. And I really wonder if this is true or not. I have serious doubts about it, of the girl tagging UFC and WWE and saying like, hey, give me a job. Look at me. You know what I mean? I should be an MMA fighter and all that. Some are saying it was that girl. Some are saying it's not. My gut is telling me it's BS. Anyone can make a fake account, and that's where this all gets so complicated. When this goes to court, they need to have some kind of tech team that really goes through all this stuff to see who was saying what online and trace it all back and find out if it's really connected to these individuals or if it's just some straight up propaganda. That's what I'm saying, where this is just so complex. You got kids that got in a fight, tragedy happened, the fight went too far. Again, you got the political spin getting put on it all, the attorney general coming out and seemingly trying to use this case for his political gain. I know I sound like a broken record when I keep saying politics and all that, but for real, that's what the deal is right here. That's what's going on. And when you throw the internet into it, like I said, trying to figure out what's real or fake is such a tough task. I mean, we just saw the other day, in a totally unrelated thing in sports, someone made up a fake parody account that appeared to be real, a story about Draymond Green choking his coach like Latrell Sprewell, and it was a total joke. It wasn't true, but it was parodying a real media account. And this thing went viral and ran wild for like a whole week. And then it was debunked that it was indeed not really a reporter that said this, that it was satirical comedy or whatever you want to call it. But a lot of people think it's still real. So the authorities really just have their work cut out for them on this one. And I hope that, again, it's a thorough job and all the facts come to light. So keep staying tuned for updates. Share your thoughts, everyone. Like I said, May is going to be that Very important court date. Share your thoughts. Let's talk about it all. But as we've been talking, though, on many levels, it seems of both sides pointing the finger at each other. In this part of the update here, the father of Kaylee Gain, who hasn't been in her life, not necessarily because he chooses. I would say just a bad relationship with his ex girl. I don't know that they were ever married. Kaylee Gain's mother. He's spoke out, and it seems, in a sense, he's actually taking some accountability for this. That he really feels, and this is important to all parents out there, man. It's never been easy being a parent. It feels it's harder than ever in this current day with the whole digital aspect of the internet and everything like that. And everyone, just look at this instance and think about your child and just think how in one instance, if they're getting into BS or school or BS at school or outside or stuff like that, how in one instance, life can be changed forever, whether it be Kaylee Gain being all hurt or this other girl facing these charges, possibly facing charges as an adult at the age of 15, I believe. Like, it can all go bad in just one incident, in one moment in time. So all the parents out there, don't lose sight of that and all the stuff going on. Think about it on a level as a parent. And he basically is just saying, he wanted to get Kaylee back in his home for quite some time, and he regretted that he didn't do something about it, because basically, as I'm sure you guys have all heard before, the mother of Kaylee Gain is a recovering drug addict, and the father, Clinton is his name, Clinton Gain, the mother, April Nordstrom, they've been split up. He says, way back when Kaylee was little, him and the mother were both getting high and not handling their business, and their life was full of dysfunction and everything like that, to the point that they split up when Kaylee was just 5. He ended up getting himself clean and everything like that, but the mom was raising her drugged out originally. You know what I'm saying? So 5-year-old Kaylee is being raised by a single mother, drug addict from the way it sounds. And then at 8, the grandparents ended up taking the kid for a couple years. And then after that, when she got out, she went and lived with the father, who at this time was clean, married, being a productive member of society and raising his daughter. And for the most part, everything seemed to be all right. But it all changed when she became a teenager, and all this different experiences she had throughout her life. She just started being really defiant, having a lot of problems. And the father said that he felt like she needed her mother, to learn how to be a woman, because her and the stepmother didn't necessarily connect so well, which ain't nothing new or ain't anything out of the ordinary, And the way the dad describes it, it seems like he was kind of on the fence about sending her with the mother, and now he totally regrets it. But that's where she went, and she's pretty much just been going on a downward spiral, and he wanted to get her back. And it's like, now at this point, they've agreed when she recovers and gets out of the hospital, she's coming back with her dad. But it almost feels, in a sense, like it's too late, like the damage has been done and no one's life is ever going to be the same anymore. You know what I mean? Like, the dad said that things he was hearing from the mom, it sounds kind of like she would keep a little bit of the info from him. And at some point he talked to the school and they relayed to him, like, she just has no structure. She's out of control. She's getting in BS all the time. She's a mess. And, I guess it got to the point that the dad actually had to share with the school, hey, anything you need to get out there, share it with me directly. So to me, that kind of says a lot and feels like the mom was keeping some things from him. You know how relationships can be and all that. But it more or less just sounds like the dad is beside himself because he feels terrible for not being there in her younger years, that him and the mom were both getting high. And, the kid's taking a lot of this stuff subconsciously. I mean, at the same time, sometimes you can raise a kid perfect and they get in some BS and their life goes into disarray. There's no perfect science to raising a kid. You can do everything right and things can go wrong. Hell, there's some kids that I know when I was growing up that their parents were doing everything wrong, but the kids just were more mature for their age and saw what was in store for them if they continued down the path that the parents were on, you know? But the dad just seems like he knew something bad was going to happen and was trying to convince Kaylee to come live with him, but she just didn't really want any parts of it, you know? Like, she probably had her clique of friends and her social life and the running amok that she was doing, and to her, she couldn't give that up. But since all this happened, the dad went through Kaylee's phone, and it sounds like he was basically appalled at the way his daughter was behaving, and said that the drama was going on for weeks. And, the kids decided to meet up and scrap. And here we are where we're at. But as I was saying, if you really go tap into everything that the father is saying, it really feels like in a situation where, like I said, all we're seeing is people saying it's the other individual's fault. No, it's the other individual's fault. It sounds like the dad is kind of saying, a lot, I take the blame for some of this. I could have been a better father. Me and Kaylee's mother were dysfunctional drug addicts, and that was a part of her reality in her life when she was growing up. And, like, she carried a lot of this around with her. And I don't know, it just seems like, to me, comment everyone out there if you tapped into all this and you feel the same way, that the dad just really seems to feel some accountability. And like I always say, with everything that's going on, there's a lot that can be tooketh from it, for reflection, or just to get someone focused in their life, or, it just sparks the thought process in different ways. And, like I said, it's just wild out here raising our kids. You know what I'm saying? In them teenage years, it just seems like once they get in the mix of getting in trouble and all that, you've lost them. I mean, you're talking to someone, me, who I grew up, I was in detention centers, taken away, not so much taken away from my family, but bounced around throughout my family. And, I went through that whole process, juvenile detention facilities and just different stuff like that growing up. And you just see like a community of people that when you get older, a lot of individuals go to jail, a lot of individuals pass away. Some get their ish together and, change it all around and try to change that cycle so their kids don't grow up that way. It's just wild, man. But just seeing all this and seeing the father speak out really had me thinking, like, parents, let's be there for our kids. Let's keep them from getting into the BS, But like I said, you could be a perfect parent and things can, like, there's no, like, it's life, it's human beings, it's emotion, it's so much, and there's just not one thing that applies to all. But I will say trust and communication is important. You know what I'm saying? Like, if your kids are lying to you all the time, I guess maybe in a sense they don't trust you, or they fear being honest with you, and it's no good. You're never really going to know what's going on, man, But I don't know. I feel like I'm rambling on a bit. There's so much to cover with all this. Again, I'm intrigued to hear what everyone's got to say. So everyone, jump in the comments. What's your thoughts? Do you see the political games going on? Do you think this girl should be charged as an adult? And also, like, do you think she should? Do you think she will? What do you think about the authorities? This adult, is that Kaylee's mother? The fake tweets, do you think they're real? Like, let's talk about it all in the comments, and stay tuned for updates. Again, May is going to be that fateful day. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and stay tuned for more true crime content. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.